Usnea may look fragile, but the medicine in it is strong and needs to be treated with respect. Today we're going to make a tincture from it and talk about whether a double or a single extraction makes the most sense for this lichen. Let's get into it. Usnea works when you get that first tingle or scratch in your throat and you know this could turn into something else. It's also good when you start getting kind of tight in your chest, it gets that heavy feeling and you know something might be setting in. Where Usnea doesn't work is for a daily wellness type of thing. It doesn't give like a support to the body or anything like that. It comes in, punches what's going on, and then you want to stop using it. Usnea is something that you want to use sparingly and with caution because too much of it is a bad thing. So let's get to making this extraction, then we'll talk about whether a second extraction is beneficial. If you want information on harvesting and preparing the Usnea for use, I'll link my Usnea salve video here and I go over all that in that video. You want to make sure that your Usnea is completely dry. This is some that I harvested probably about a month ago. It is completely dry and ready to be tinctured. But I'm gonna go ahead and use my scissors and cut this so that it has more surface area to work with. I have the Usnea in a clean jar, just kind of loosely packed in there. And now I'm going to cover it with alcohol. For Usnea, you want something between probably 150 to 190 proof. The minimum proof you'd want to use would be 100. My choice is usually Everclear because it's high potency. I am going to put a piece of parchment paper here and then the lid. I do the parchment paper so that the alcohol doesn't start corroding any part of the lid and also keeps the Usnea from sticking to the top. We're going to put this in a cool, dark place for 4 to 6 weeks. And once a day, I'm going to take it out and give it a shake. And that prevents any kind of clumping. It kind of mixes everything together. And if there are any parts of the Usnea that are out of the alcohol, like maybe they went up to the very top, it'll keep them from getting a chance to spoil. So what's going to be happening is the alcohol is going to pull out the alcohol-soluble parts of the Usnea, mainly the usnic acid, which is what is the really active compound in this that we're looking for. I have a jar here that's been going since the end of September. You can see it's gotten like a nice golden color. That is the usnic acid. I'm going to get the alcohol strained out through a doubled over cloth. Here we have the Usnea tincture. It is beautiful. Now this right here, what's left over, this is where a lot of herbalists kind of split ways. For some, it's done. You got the alcohol-soluble usnic acid out, and that's good enough. But other herbalists want to do a double extraction, and that is where you would take the spent Usnea and do a hot water extraction with that and combine that with the alcohol tincture for a double extraction or a full spectrum tincture. When it comes to Usnea, I don't do a double extraction. Something like turkey tail makes perfect sense to me. You're getting a lot of compounds from both the alcohol and the hot water extraction. With Usnea, you're getting the main ingredient, usnic acid, through the alcohol extraction. The properties that you pull from Usnea with a hot water extraction aren't unique to Usnea like how the usnic acid is, and they're kind of weak. The polysaccharides and mucilage that you would get from it aren't even comparable to something like turkey tail. And adding the hot water extracted compounds to the usnic acid would water down the usnic acid. That's the powerhouse. That's why I make Usnea tincture, so I'm not going to water that down. So for me, this is a good fire starter. How I use the Usnea is 5 to 10 drops, and I mean drops, not dropperfuls, but drops. And I do that 2 times a day, no more than 3 days. If it's not working within 3 days, you want to stop using it and move on to something else. Store these in a cool, dark place with a single extraction because we didn't add any water to it and we started with dry Usnea. This stuff will last for years. Make sure that you do your own research on Usnea and the usnic acid and what it can do for you before using it. Always make sure that you check before you believe what anybody says. I don't think I did anything to end the war on single versus double extraction of Usnea, but I did place myself firmly in the single extraction camp. I'm gonna stand by that. Well, that's all I got for y'all this week. I really appreciate you watching this video. And if you like what I'm doing, I sure would appreciate if you hit the like button. And if you really like what I'm doing, I'd appreciate if you considered subscribing to the channel. So until next time, I'll see y'all later.